Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to explore the dramatic and powerful story of the 1963 Coral Gardens Uprising in Jamaica. Get ready for a tale of defiance, bravery, and the fight for justice. This is Dreadlocks and Defiance. This story takes us back to a time when the Rastafarian community faced intense discrimination and hostility. We'll uncover the events that led to the uprising, the fierce battles that ensued, and the enduring impact it had on Jamaican society. The roots of Rastafari. To understand the Coral Gardens Uprising, we first need to know a bit about Rastafari. Emerging in the 1930s, Rastafarianism is a spiritual and cultural movement that emphasizes African heritage, unity, and resistance against oppression. Rastafarians believe in the divinity of Haile Selassie I, the former emperor of Ethiopia, whom they regard as the returned Messiah. This movement, rooted in the desire for liberation and the rejection of colonial values, became a beacon of hope for many marginalized Jamaicans. The Rastafarian lifestyle is distinct, with followers often sporting dreadlocks, wearing colorful clothing inspired by the Ethiopian flag, and adhering to a vegetarian diet. Their beliefs and practices, however, were often misunderstood and ridiculed by the broader society. This misunderstanding bred fear and resentment, setting the stage for conflict. Rising tensions. By the early 1960s, tensions between Rastafarians and the Jamaican government were escalating. Rastafarians, often misunderstood and marginalized, faced constant harassment from authorities. They were frequently targeted by police, who viewed them as troublemakers and a threat to public order. This discrimination extended to all aspects of life, including employment, housing, and education. The government's crackdown on Rastafarians was part of a broader effort to maintain social control and suppress dissent. The Rastafarian community, however, remained resilient. They found strength in their faith and unity, holding gatherings where they could express their beliefs and support one another. Despite the increasing pressure, the Rastafarians continued to preach peace and justice, refusing to bow down to oppression. The spark. In April 1963, an incident at a gas station in Coral Gardens ignited the flame. Following a violent altercation between a Rastafarian and the police, the situation quickly spiraled out of control. The police, reacting with excessive force, launched a brutal crackdown on the Rastafarian community, sparking outrage and resistance. This event was the tipping point, turning simmering tensions into open conflict. The Rastafarians, already on edge from years of persecution, saw this as a direct attack on their community and their way of life. The brutal response from the authorities galvanized them, transforming their frustration into a resolve to fight back. This was not just about defending themselves but about standing up for their rights and dignity. The uprising begins. The Rastafarians, led by determined and courageous individuals, decided to fight back. The Coral Gardens Uprising saw brave Rastafarians standing up against oppression, demanding respect and justice. Armed with little more than their courage and convictions, they organized themselves and prepared to confront the police. This was a David versus Goliath scenario, with the underdog Rastafarians taking on the might of the state. The initial confrontations were intense, with both sides suffering casualties. The Rastafarians used guerrilla tactics, leveraging their knowledge of the local terrain to their advantage. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, their resolve and unity gave them strength. The streets of Coral Gardens became a battleground, echoing with the sounds of conflict and defiance. A fierce battle. The confrontation quickly escalated into a fierce battle. Rastafarians, armed with little more than their courage and convictions, faced off against heavily armed police forces. It was a David versus Goliath scenario. The Rastafarians used guerrilla tactics, leveraging their knowledge of the local terrain to their advantage. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, their resolve and unity gave them strength. The police, determined to crush the uprising, brought in reinforcements and heavy weaponry. The streets of Coral Gardens became a war zone, with makeshift barricades and clashes occurring at every turn. The Rastafarians fought bravely, but the overwhelming force of the police began to take its toll. As the battle raged on, the casualties mounted, and the community was plunged into chaos. The aftermath. Despite their bravery, the Rastafarians were overpowered. Many were arrested, injured, and some lost their lives. The aftermath was a time of mourning, reflection, and determination to continue the fight for justice. The government's harsh response drew widespread condemnation, both locally and internationally. The Rastafarian community, though battered, emerged with a renewed sense of purpose and unity. In the wake of the uprising, the Jamaican government conducted a series of raids on Rastafarian settlements, further inflaming tensions. The survivors of Coral Gardens faced ongoing harassment and discrimination, but their spirits remained unbroken. They continued to gather, sharing stories of the uprising and honoring those who had sacrificed so much. The impact. The Coral Gardens Uprising left a lasting impact on Jamaica. It brought international attention to the plight of the Rastafarians and sparked a broader movement for civil rights and social justice on the island. The bravery and resilience of the Rastafarians inspired others to stand up against oppression and fight for their rights. The uprising became a symbol of resistance, a rallying cry for all those seeking justice and equality. Over time, the Jamaican government began to re-evaluate its stance on Rastafarians. Public opinion shifted, and the calls for change grew louder. The legacy of Coral Gardens played a crucial role in the gradual acceptance and integration of Rastafarians into Jamaican society. Their contributions to culture, music, and social activism became widely recognized and celebrated. Legacy and reflection. Today, the Coral Gardens Uprising is remembered as a pivotal moment in Jamaican history. It symbolizes the enduring struggle for equality and the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Annual commemorations and educational programs ensure that the sacrifices of those involved are not forgotten. The uprising serves as a reminder of the importance of standing up for one's beliefs and the power of collective action. Modern-day Rastafarians continue to honor the legacy of Coral Gardens, using it as a source of inspiration in their ongoing fight for justice. The movement has evolved, but the core values of unity, resistance, and pride in African heritage remain as strong as ever. The story of Coral Gardens is not just a tale of conflict but a testament to the resilience and courage of the Rastafarian community. Conclusion. And that's the story of the Coral Gardens Uprising, a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up for what is right. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more incredible stories from history. This tale reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit can prevail. It's a story of courage, unity, and the unyielding pursuit of justice. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more fascinating historical narratives. See you next time.